Hey, I got my new bass trombone. Just kidding, it's another different instrument. So this one is a King 7B. I haven't looked up when this was made, but probably late 70s, early 80s. Um, that doesn't matter so much with Kings. They're pretty consistent, especially later models like this, which were only made for 20 or something years. Um, as you can see, it has two valves this time. Back up to two valves. They're independent. Ooh, that's fancy. You can use one when you're not using the other one. That's really cool. And it's got the cool finger ring. It's got the curved brace. Your left hand. This is the left hand. This is right hand. Left hand goes, or the left thumb goes over this bell brace, which is pretty odd, considering most instruments. Some people really like it because it does give you an extra thing to grip on, other than just holding the entire horn up with these two fingers. The size of my hands means it's really, really uncomfortable for me. And even playing that right there made my thumb really hurt a lot. I have this horn because I'm going to Taiwan with the UCLA Marching Band, and I'm playing some shows and clinics and stuff there in less than a month. And I'm using this to do it. And it's actually a pretty good bass trombone. We have a bunch of horns here at UCLA, and lots of them are beat up, like that 70H, even though it's really good. But this one's in really good shape. I think it was refinished and re-lacquered pretty recently, because a lot of this looks like new lacquer over beat up stuff. Anyway, so this has F, G flat tuning, which is pretty, that's pretty stock. Everybody has that. Means you can play F or G flat. And then, of course, they combine to play D in first position with both valves. And, I don't use it that much on this. I played some Fs in this position with the G-flat valve and that little thing I just played. But, marching band, I'm not playing a bunch of crazy stuff where I need two independent valves. And even though these are pretty small rotors by modern standards, and they don't play, straight open like some people might like out of bass trombone valves, they actually play really well. I don't know if you heard those C's. But I can really just hammer those out on this. And if they were really stuffy, that wouldn't be able to happen, right? And you may notice some kind of half-valving. The throw on these is kind of weird. And I constantly accidentally hit this halfway and play halfway through the G-flat valve. Also, just because of the age and condition of this, the valves are like really, really not sealed. Let's see. So when you pull this out and push it in and press the valve, you should hear a big pop if you have a nice sealed valve with a good amount of oil on it to provide the seal. And that's because these are completely worn out. I can actually feel this moving in the casing, like sideways when I do this. That means it's pretty far gone. Despite that, it plays pretty well. It's definitely not a big orchestral sound. I actually used this in an orchestra for a rehearsal, and I was dying because I just couldn't make the sounds that I wanted to make. And the slide is not particularly good, but it gets the job done. So yeah, this is a King 7B. If I had a new one or one in better condition, I would use it in a jazz band, in that kind of setting. That just kind of brighter bass trombone setting where you still need two valves. You need that kind of flexibility. I had one other thing I was going to say. Oh, and I'm using today my Yamaha 6D mouthpiece, which is what I'm using all around right now. Woo, crazy happenings using big mouthpieces. So yeah, King 7B, pretty good horn. Oh, and if you're buying a Jinbao or Wessex or not Eastman, I don't think, but there's a bunch of different companies that import Jinbao bass trombones. This is what they're based on. You've probably seen these on eBay, or maybe your friends have them. I've seen people who have them. It's usually silver. EF Durand, that's another company. Usually silver. Sometimes they have nickel bells and stuff. I don't even know. But those are actually apparently even better than the actual King 7B. So if you can get your hands on a well-made one by Wessex or whoever, I would not advise against it for a cheap price, because this is a pretty good instrument. Alright, maybe I'll show you my bass in my next video.